Gosh, I almost feel like crying. It's such a, Zach, you were so good. You have touched my heart because you have such courage to be able to get up here and do what you did, and to stay clean and sober for 50 years is not easy. And wow, it's amazing. So it's exactly what we're talking about this whole month. We're talking about reset and renew, ourselves. And it seems like in January, that's what we do, right? We kind of look at where we are, and we say, let's move forward with the things we, let go of the stuff that didn't work for us and move forward. And my favorite profound quote, I really love it, is by Lee Iacocca. He says, if we screw up, start over. I mean, profound, right? So that's how we have to live our lives. If we screw up, we start over, try something new. Try something new. It's kind of like I was thinking, we're talking about resetting, right? So resetting your computer's like that. When your whole computer kind of messes up, have you ever had it where it just doesn't, it's stuck, right? So you have to turn it off. And then you start over completely. And that's what we're talking about today, is starting our life, and being able to make these changes and make the mistakes that we make in our life, and then start over again, try something new. So I love the quote too, that our lives don't get better by chance, they get better by change. We have to be the one to change them. And it's talking about change on the inside, right? Not change out there. It can be change out there too, but usually the most profound changes that we make come from the change in here. My intention forever, I love that you said that, because yours is harmony and beauty and stuff. And I think my whole life has been about a search to develop this inner life, to this inner person that is different than my outer life, right? I want to be, how do I even say this? I want my inner life to be deep enough to reflect my outer life. Does that make sense? That I'm not living two lives, that I'm not thinking one thing and then out there, living something different. And it's always been important to me to be in alignment with that. And so I've tried a million different things in my life. I've been on this journey, since I've been a little kid, from, being a Bible-thumping born-again Baptist to a Jehovah's Witness. I never was a Jehovah's Witness, but I studied with them for a little while. Okay? I have put the pyramid cones on my head to try to, get the energy going. I've looked for my inner child. All of you, I know you've done that, bang the pillows, There's different things that we've all done because we're in this search. But one of the things that I did, and this is kind of funny because many years ago I saw this class. And we, have lots of classes. We're all into different classes here. And it was clean your closets and change your life. Okay? Okay, now what they said was that you're supposed to, as you do that, what is not useful for you kind of drops away. And then it clears this way for the things that are useful in your life. So this is an honest to God true story. I cleaned my closet. I went home. I was excited, to drop these stuff that wasn't working in my life and clear this way. 2 days later, my husband came and asked me for a divorce. Okay? The useful stuff dropped away, right? Maybe useless, But that, I swear to God, that happened. I cleaned my closets, and he asked me for a divorce. It was about 2 days later. So, and I thought, letting go of what's not useful. Wow, So some of the stuff works, But here's the deal. Here's my point here. Now, I am so grateful for it all, right? For all of it. For the crazy studies I did, for the pyramid on my head. My husband walked in, I had this oil thing on my head one time. And I was doing all of this stuff. And the truth is that, as we look at our journey and we see all the stuff that we screwed up kind of and stuff where we've been, we can say it's all, goofy and it didn't help, but it does. Everything that you do, every mistake you've made has built you, Zach, where you are today. And we have to look at that. We look at the whole picture. We don't regret. We take the things that made us who we are and we become who we are today. And that's what this whole idea of starting over is about. It's about tapping into the God self of who you are. And that's what we all have to do. In this idea of January, it is funny how everybody I'm talking to is clearing up something, right? They're cleaning and they're getting Christmas all cleaned up. And so every January I do that too. And I have a little space that I live in, and I've got books. Oh my gosh, I've got bookshelves all over the place. So I said I'm not going to do it any longer. So I got rid of all these books. I've been sitting down and going through them, and it's hard. Have you ever tried? I mean, I just have a hard time getting rid of things. I didn't think I did. But every book, well, I might use this. I haven't read it for 10 years, but I might use it. So I was sitting on the floor, right? And I have these bookshelves, and I'm dividing it all out the place. Well, all of a sudden, this book, it's called Magic Eye 3D, Beyond 3D. Okay, I see it. Okay, what that book is, I don't know if any of you know what it is. It's popular in like the, I think 90s or 80s or 90s. And it's this actually. Okay, inside of this vision, this picture is an image. And I want you to kind of look. Some of you might be able to see it and some won't be able to see it. I have a whole book of this stuff. And years ago, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see it. I went through it, and there was all these pictures, and I would look, and you're supposed to see these images come out, these beautiful things. I never could. I used to get so mad that I couldn't see it. So I haven't looked at it for years and years, 10 years. So as I was cleaning and looking over, I looked, and all of a sudden, I saw like this image of this heart, this big, beautiful heart. It was like a 3D image that came right out. It came to me. You know what 3D does if you watch a 3D movie and you see, here's the movie, and then this image comes right in front of your face. So as I'm sitting there, it was like it was this like, experience, right? And I went, wow, this is unreal. And I never saw it before. And I thought, you know what? This is crazy. This is exactly what I want to talk about, because I'm thinking of all this searching, right, that I've done since I've been a little kid, for finding something in my life, finding the God self in my life. And here's the answer, and it's always has been through everything, right, I've been through. The answer has been to see the heart, right, to see the love in everybody and to start it in myself, to be the love, see the sacred in everything that you do, and see the sacred in everything you experience, and to feel it and to experience it, right? And it all kind of came back the minute I saw this, heart that came to me. So I don't know if you guys can see it, and it's probably better that you listen to me and not try to do this, but it's there. See, and here's the deal. This is what it's showing me. Now think about this. We all see things differently, right? I mean, we think reality is just this dimension. There is so much more. If I can see something like that, it makes me realize what else can I see? What can you see that we're not seeing? Or what does somebody else see? I mean, this is huge. It's big stuff that you can see something that nobody else can see. It's just, to me, it's huge. So here's what happens when you're not trying so hard, right? I was trying 10 years ago. Focusing, this narrow focus on, I gotta see this, and my focus would be like this, and I would, get tense, and I never could see it. Okay, as I was relaxed into it, I started to see differently. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is that when we drop to our heart, when we soften our vision, we see differently. We see completely differently. We have eyes that reveal what's going on in the world. We have eyes that reveal what's going on in our own lives. We can see through each other. And I'm thinking how beautiful that is, really, that when we need the answers, they're given to us when we have the eyes to see it. And I know that. And I know that this big, beautiful heart is in everything. And this actually, there's not just hearts, there's all sorts of different images. But they're hidden until you can open your heart to see them. And this was a reminder of how important it is that we build our inner life, right? That we build our inner life, that we see the heart and the sacred in everything. And I got to thinking, man, what if all of us could see with magic eyes, right? That's what it's called, the Magic Eye book. But what if we could actually open our heart and see what another was going through instead of judging them, right? When something didn't go right and you didn't like something. What if we had magic eyes where I could look at you, and I could say, wow, this guy's been through this. What can I do? How can I greet him with this great love? How can I see him differently? We wouldn't be so quick to judge people, would we? And I'm thinking of when Plato said, we have to be kind because we never know what kind of battle someone's going through, right? We don't know what anybody sitting here. We might judge somebody if the phone goes off. You know, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know what's going on underneath that. Maybe somebody's waiting for a phone call from the hospital. We don't know. You know, and there's so many things. So if we have eyes to see it, that's what I'm saying, is that if we have these loving, soft eyes and not look through such a hard, narrow focus, our lives would change. We would see the world differently. And so, actually, it's interesting because I started to read about vision. And there's a 17th century swordsman who talked about these two visions. And we actually have talked about it here from the platform before, too. And we've talked about hard vision and soft vision. And the Buddhists talk a lot about seeing with soft vision. It's actually seeing with the eyes of the heart. And he called it the ken and the can. And the ken vision is the surface vision of seeing things. You know, all we see is what we see, right? And that's how we judge things. You know, I see you have this orange sweater on, I see you're pretty, I see this, you know, and that's it, right? But I don't go deep, and I don't know where you've come from, and I don't understand, you know, the stuff that you've been through in your life. And when I have softer eyes, I can understand that. You know, I can open, I can see you, I can see the essence in you. And that's what I'm talking about, is opening enough to see the essence in not just a person, but in an experience. Right? See the essence in Zach as he was playing. Didn't matter how he played, really, be honest with you. Doesn't matter. What mattered is seeing the essence in this incredible soul come out and have the courage to stand in front of everybody. I don't know if I could have done that. You know, to me, that's seeing the essence in everything. That's using what he calls the can instead of the ken, which I think is pretty cool. It's having life be an experience. Think about that. You know, is your life an observation of just what you see? You know, sometimes I think we go through life just seeing with this narrow focus. But what if we experienced life? Experienced everything. And sometimes that hurts, right? Because life isn't always just fun and wonderful. I like to think it is, but it isn't, and sometimes it hurts. And if we have soft vision, we have to feel it all. We have to be with life. We have to be with the good and the bad, because life is that. But what happens is it makes us go deeper. It makes us not live on the surface of life. It makes us go deep, deep, deep. And I love that. You know, if we could see the heart and the love of everybody else, our whole lives would change. So what if we started to experience the sacred in everything and every experience that we had? What if today, you know, you could leave here and greet your family and greet your friends? If you could go to the store, whatever it is that you have to do, and actually see the sacred in that, what would that look like? Seeing God in everything, in every experience that you had. It would change your life. It would change your life forever if you knew that this incredible field of God was in you, and that you had the courage and the compassion, and you had the wherewithal to see it in everything and to take it with you. Because God is a presence. See, God's not a person out there. God is a presence that surrounds us, with us. You know, we move and live and have our being in it. And that's what God is. And when we take that with us, we see with God's eyes. We're the hands and feet of God in the world. And that's what this is all about, is that there's not a place, we say it in the meditation, there is not a place where God is not. And if we start to grow accustomed to this presence, now think about this, grow accustomed to the presence. If God is just with you all the time, you feel it, right? You're never alone. You're always with this warm presence that's with you, has the answers, knows everything, sees everything. That's the ability that we all have when we tap into that presence. We even turn sadness will melt into love as we develop this presence. So that's what we're invited to do, is to find the love and the heart and to look at our lives. And when we, you know, and I'm kind of kidding when I say you screw up and start over, because really, you know, it's not a screw up, you know, it's just a different way of seeing things. It's a mess up. So if you try it today and it doesn't work, guess what? You choose again tomorrow. You choose love. Every day you choose love. So this year, this is my prayer for all of us, that we make this a new beginning, and that we develop these magic eyes, that we have the eyes to see, to really deeply see, the eyes we were meant to have, that we don't just pray to God anymore, but we experience God. We experience God in everything, that we see the sacred, that we redo, we reset our lives, and we see God in everything. Thank you for joining us.